Oh my god.
Have you even got bumper music?
No bumper music today because we're having a little quiet one because we're in a place where people might be sleeping, so we can't make too much noise. Hello everyone, I'm Ethan McKinley.
I'm Ellie Fitzgerald.
And this is a 2-minute
Terminator.
We're playing down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time.
At a time.
It's episode 54
It is.
of season 4, and we're going from minutes 108 to 110, with 2 minutes bridging that gap. And yeah, this is almost, this is the penultimate visual episode, Ellie. Did you know that? Where stuff happens on screen.
Yeah.
In the shape of people and words.
Yeah.
And then the next 3 episodes probably just words.
Yeah.
You're really into this, I can tell.
Hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the 4th.
Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Hi everyone, we're back. Yes, I'm Ethan.
Hello.
McKinley. This is the 2-minute Terminator. Ellie Fitzgerald sits across from me, raring to go with a copious amount of notes. And yes, there may not be a show actually tomorrow. I'll pre-warn you that because I'm working, but we'll get out to you on Thursday. Whoa. So yeah, the 2 minutes bridging the gap. It begins with John Connor hitting the nuclear annihilation button, blowing up Skynet. We'll get to that in a second. I have a few issues.
Hey.
And it ends basically with John Connor basically looking lovingly at all his friends and family as he sits there with a broken heart. So Ellie, what do you think of the footage that you've seen?
We've actually got it playing from all angles.
Okay.
Ethan's got it on
Well, you
loop
can
on
see that
his
one, I can see the
screen.
other one.
Oh, amazing. Sweet.
I was going to say, listeners, if you
That
have
works
just
out
joined
quite
us,
well.
this is the 2-minute Terminator. It's an audio podcast, but it's also a video podcast. You can actually follow along with the footage we're talking about as we speak. So if you go to 2-minute Terminator on YouTube, you can actually watch the clip on repeat as we discuss it. So,
yes. Are those explosions real? That's my first question.
I would say so.
So we see basically it opens with the detonation.
Which actually, there's the light little button thing that goes off in the factory. That wasn't the signal disruptor for the Terminator. That was the...
I have no idea what it was for.
Transmitter, the trigger for the bombs. I don't know.
I thought it was what shut... I don't know.
Well, what it
I
was,
thought it might be what shut the systems down.
knowing what we know now, because we do study these things extensively before we watch the show.
Guaranteed, not guaranteed.
Guaranteed, not guaranteed. Micro machines come in collections of 5. Side effects might cause blindness.
Stop it.
Stop
it.
It's obviously just a basic explosive device, and I guess that ignites the power cells, which was established in Terminator 3, that they're kind of going mini-nuclear.
What I want to know...
My
Okay.
only issue with that is when he does hit the detonation button, they're kind of right next to the factory in question that blows up. That literally would have just brought the helicopter down.
Right,
Knowing
so-
what we know about the batteries of the power cells in the third one that Arnie throws out of his chest, which is a T850 power cell. Technically, would these ones explode? Because this is a pre-T850 making facility. These are the brand new Terminators, so these are the basic T800 Terminator without the explosive power cell. We know that, as we mentioned, because in the first one the Terminator is crushed, and in the second one where the Terminator is lowered into the molten pit.
Molten metal.
I always do like that, don't I?
Taken
To the molten pit,
the fighting pit.
That's Andy Dick, that is.
It is. He's so good. I love Andy Dick.
Crazy Andy Dick.
Yeah. Andy Dick,
Make your
Martin
way,
Short,
Andy
they all kind of... They're kind of
Merge
those
into one.
weird, thin-faced men, aren't they? And they're really funny and weird. And Ethan, seriously, dude.
I don't know. We're talking about Terminator, what can I say?
Yeah, so... oh, God.
Pay attention. I think my balls just fell out of my pants.
Right, so explosions on real side and non-real side.
Common's in this scene, which is nice.
let's say little Star who saved the detonator
Yeah.
and gives it to John, and he pushes the button to have caused that kind of explosion. He would have had to have put those little things everywhere, surely.
Well, no, the assumption is the explosion is that powerful it would level the entire place, but like I
But
said,
it doesn't then.
the Terminators that don't really explode in Terminators 1 and 2, this wouldn't happen technically if it's one continuous timeline, because these Terminators don't have an explosive power cell, as evidenced in the first Terminator when it was destroyed, and shown in the second Terminator when it wasn't destroyed in the molten pit. But I'm assuming they're going off wrongfully that the power cells are highly nuclear,
Yeah.
based off 3, but the T-850 hasn't been invented yet.
No.
Not been invented yet.
It's not even been. I actually watched that earlier today.
Is it funny?
It's really funny.
Why didn't it go viral?
I don't
Why
know.
is that not on Spicy Memes?
Dude, that should be on Spicy Memes. It's so funny.
Zesty Memes.
I think it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen you in.
How do you get something uploaded to like one of those Facebook pages? How do you catch fire on a thing like that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
I'll
th-
have a look into it at the weekend. Right, now, on a serious, like a technical note, so when he hits that button and those explosions happen,
Mhm.
how do they do that? Like,
Oh, you mean okay? I'm assuming it's sort of like a digital model as well.
yeah, I was going to say, is it a model? Because that looks really fucking real.
No, it's probably a large-scale bigature or model, like
Okay,
a
cool.
full-scale miniature, and it's probably blown up. And basically, when you're shooting fire effects in any kind of film, they did this like in the James Bond film. If you mess up the scale of your model, and it works the same with water as well. If the model is a crap or the wrong scale, it's given away by the fact the water looks bigger than it, which you've seen in loads of old movies,
Yeah.
or in whenever you see an explosion. If the fire, this kind of fire has a scale and a form to it, and if it's kind of not working in conjunction with the model, it just looks like a tiny little model. So I'm assuming it's a large-scale miniature which they blow up, and because they undercrank the camera, which is basically means they shoot the film at high speeds when you play it back at normal speed.
Yeah, see, that's shot there in
Yeah.
particular.
The fire moves with like majesty and slowness, like a real.
I mean, there's explosions, there's like debris, there's shit going everywhere. There's spinning helicopters.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's probably a model. It looks a little bit like when they blow up that building on Independence Day,
It does look really impressive.
when it shoots the laser down into that building, and when the first one, and when it starts killing people in Independence Day. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I reckon it would have to be a model really with real explosions, and they just undercrank and then play it back at normal speed, and then they add lots of other digital elements and like explosions and fire. So they shot separately.
I see. You see,
They're
but
kind
do
of
you
like
really see?
they're moving away from essentially a mushroom cloud, aren't they?
Yeah.
That would have brought the helicopter down.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. That's another thing I wanted to say.
Like
That
the heat wave or
yeah,
the air being moved, getting away from that like
a
explosion.
helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
you would have
like,
taken it out.
That wall of air would have just destroyed the
Yeah,
helicopter.
it would have. And also, I thought it was a bit weird how they kind of just like faded into old school kind of sepia toning. I was like, really?
Also, why they left the detonator in John's hand? Wouldn't someone else take it off him then? Because you'd have to take him out of the decision-making process.
Oh god.
Because he'd probably think, I'm going to die soon. I want to like close the deal on this thing and make sure it's done. I'm just going to hit
Done.
I'm just going to hit the button right now. But he's obviously going to do it too close to the explosion. He thinks he's going to die anyway. You'd have to get the button away from John.
What would you do, Ethan, if you thought you were about to
Give
die? I'll come back for you.
Snatch it out of his hand like a little kid. Give it that. As I've said before, in nearly every episode in this entire season, Ellie, earlier drafts of this script, before rewrites, focused a lot more on Marcus Wright than Kyle and Kyle Reese, rather, their relationship, than John Connor making an appearance only in the last few scenes. Christian Bale was obviously offered the role of Marcus, but took more interest in the character of John Connor. I don't know why. So rewrites took place to give him more of a substantial role throughout the film. If you've only just heard this is your first episode, listeners, basically Marcus Wright wouldn't have given his heart to John Connor, as we see in the film that actually exists before us. He was actually it was going to be written that John Connor would die. Marcus Wright would assume his role as the leader of the resistance, and that's how they'd beat the machines, because they'd have a machine leading them who essentially was one of them and had the inside track, basically, and that's how
That'd be so much better.
It would. So you've got like a fake John Connor running shit, so it's like a really twist at the end.
Yeah,
story.
that would have been amazing.
But alas, Christian
Alas,
Bale came on
they missed the...
with his mother punching mouth. Punch your mother with that mouth?
Love that.
I've also got...
Do you punch your mother with that mouth?
It's a Family Guy, I think. I also think this last scene, or this second to last scene, was where he went crazy apeshit at Shane. What's his name? The director of photography. When you basically the end song for this episode is the Christian Bale Rant remix by Revolution.
That's not in this clip.
No, but the people that you could hear in the scene,
Yeah.
I imagine it's this, because it sounds like they're outside. All the other cast members are there.
Oh, I get it.
It's like, I'm doing an intense scene with Bryce, and you're walking in the background like this. I think this is that scene.
Is this the scene where the amazing
rant came from?
rant
I think
came
that's
from,
what this is, for sure.
which then got made
It would
into a
have to be.
tune?
She's there. He's doing his like death scene. So I guess this is his big moment as an actor. And this guy's just like, again, Christian Bale unwarrantedly overly angry over something. Which we need to do a bonus episode on.
So
that, by the way.
can I just say, so that one explosion, that's meant to have taken out Skynet?
Allegedly.
One click all gone.
I can't remember now if this was meant to be the second.
But do you not think it's like the most anti-climax, it's a massive anti-climax, do you not think?
I think this is meant to be the first film in a new trilogy. Or no, this would have been the second film of a new trilogy, Terminator 3 being that one, but I think this was going to be the first of a new McG-type trilogy. But...
And also, I feel like they've massively exaggerated that scar.
Why?
Because... they have.
That's the John Connor scar.
I know, but it's turned into this
Well, it doesn't look as bad as it when it happened. That thing dug its fingers in, burning hot molten fingers into his face. His entire face welted up. He'd look like the fucking face transplant lady.
It would. Actually, yeah, if it had done what they said it had done, then
by
it
the way,
would.
anyone listening, please Google Opie and Anthony face transplant lady and have the best 10 minutes of your life.
The best 10
At the
minutes
expense
of your
obviously
life.
a very unfortunate woman, but it's hilarious.
It is very funny.
By the way, at the end in the director's cut, which is what we're actually going off, Blair, which is Blair...
Moonface, in other words.
Moon Bloodgood playing Blair Williams. She kisses Marcus. She puts her left hand on the right side part of his head. Then in the reverse shot, she puts her hand round again. That was a cock-up.
But is that for the next...
Maybe. I'd like to pick it up.
Yeah, but I didn't get to go bing!
Cock-up number 2.
Bing, bing!
During the surgery in the desert, the blood that was being put into John looked like Kool Aid. Cock-up number 2. Sorry.
Bing, 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 bing!
John Connor gets a heart transplant in the middle of the desert, and apparently without medical tools, even though Marcus's heart is compatible with that of John's.
Thank
However,
you.
we know that Marcus's human tissue has already been altered. After he gets blown up by the mine and is being examined medically, it is stated that his flesh is human and it heals much faster than normal. Obviously, his human flesh has been changed by Skynet using futuristic technology. Nice get up, script writers. Why do you keep eating so fast? Cause, well, why?
Well, you do see Marcus's metal hand as he grabs the jacket that...
Well, it is therefore, it says here, conceivable. That therefore, it doesn't have any compatibility problems with that of John and will heal really quickly with the altered heart inside him. Well, the heart's not the problem. It's the person whose tissue it is around it, which is John Connor's. I don't think that will affect it. And all this, even though they're in the middle of the desert. Now, when John blows up the Skynet factory, this one's for you, Ellie.
Yeah.
The explosion is nuclear. Oh, here we go. The chopper they're all flying over would not have made it out, as the electronic and nuclear detonations produce extreme amounts of electromagnetic radiation, as well as the blast wave, obviously. One might argue that the chopper was fitted out with a resistance sort of resistance radiation device. Oh God, that's stretching a little bit. But with the fuselage being open, so if the crash itself wouldn't have hurt the passengers. God, my sight reading's terrible. Let's start again. One might argue that the chopper was outfitted with a resistant to resist that sort of radiation, but the fuselage was open, even if the crash itself wouldn't have hurt the passengers or would have been contaminated with radiation poisoning. Depends if it's a clean bomb, though, no?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Or is that a dirty? I don't know. Those are my cock-ups, Ali.
Cock-ups.
Bing.
Ethan's. Bings. Yeah, I thought to myself, thank God that they can do this transplant in this lovely...
In a tent in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. After they've just, exploded fucking Skynet. This is all lovely. I love that they've got the kind of, army camouflage, covering. Everything looks really neat and nice.
Do you want me to add another piece of plot that could have made this film a better film? You don't blow up the factory as soon as you get in the helicopter. They have to get, obviously, a safe distance away.
Yeah.
You could even argue that there's a timer going off, so you've got a countdown like in Aliens or Alien, and they have to kind of get clear of the place, but they get kind of pinned in by flying HKs. So they have to kind of take them out and or escape in a helicopter.
I'm so glad you brought this up because
Don't make it.
Because with the
Come on.
John Connor has obviously detonated and destroyed everything that's on the ground. What about Terminators that were in HKs up in the sky at the time?
Well, I would have said if the explosion did go off, maybe they would drop out of the sky, which kind of saved.
Ooh, of course they would.
Well, no, they've been flying away, going to press the button, and then all these HKs appear, and they're kind of like this wall of flying hunter killers. And as the explosion went off, they could have dropped out of the sky, or they could have had some air battle with the HKs to add some extra tension so they can't get away in time.
Oh no, that would have been amazing. But I'm actually talking about the actual film.
What do you mean?
Well, so you know when you see the helicopter flying away, and there's the mushroom cloud, and they've just destroyed everything. They've destroyed Skynet.
Mm-hmm.
What if there were HKs up, out and about? What would happen to them?
That's what I mean. I don't know. It's as this bill because this.
So we see this scene. Does that mean that the battle has been won? I don't think enough has happened. I haven't seen anything that tells me that this is the end of the story.
No. Well, this, as I said, this is meant to be the first in a trilogy, I think. So, I guess they could say that.
And also,
because this is a self-contained story, they did win and beat Skynet, I guess. But the fight will go on. I don't know.
I'd be pretty fucking gutted if I was Carl Reese that I'd gone through all of that and I'd just been given some really shitty adamant jacket at the end of it. You've earned it. Give it to him, kid. And he gives it to him, and that's when we see Marcus and his metal hand.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm trying to think. My bloody thought has gone out of my head.
I'm trying to think. My bloody thought's come out of me. It looks like Bryce is pregnant.
She's a biffer.
Is she pregnant though?
No, I don't think so.
But she looks it. She's got this kind of bump in her stomach.
Mumsiness.
It kind of looks like, and also this bit here where she's talking to Common and she goes, "It's hard." And he's like, "It's okay. He's gonna be okay." It's like, look, Common, you're not Dr. Dre.
He's trying to be all white knight for her. He's like, John's going to be out of the way in 5 minutes flat. It's not working on this.
You're not a doctor. There he is. Oh, Anton Yelchin. I'm so sad that poor dude's dead.
His mum's suing the car company now.
Is she?
There was some fault with the cars. That they've got faulty brakes or something.
Is that just clutching at straws, though?
I don't know. Apparently, that model car or that year car, lots of the cars were recalled.
Oh shit. Okay, that sounds a bit more legit then.
But then couldn't one argue, well, did he get the message that it should be recalled, or did he just not bother to take it in, or?
Oh man, it's just so sad. So, what actually happened? He got out of his
parked into
car.
his driveway, which was on an incline. He walked down to his gate, I guess, to get mail out of the mailbox or something like that.
And then he got pinned.
Between the car and one of the walls that holds up the side of the gate, the pillars. So he was crushed between the car and the wall, and then obviously got, I guess, suffocated. Or was crushed and then died, I don't know. Maybe it collapsed his lungs.
That sounds really weird.
Oh, it is. It's a freak accident. I guess we'll just see if she's eligible to sue.
Maybe it's conspiracy. Maybe he knew something. Just gonna throw that out there.
He'd seen the next Terminator script. He was like, fuck no.
No, because he was making a big hit with Star Trek, wasn't he?
Well, they're not the best movies either.
I'm not even gonna pass judgment on the Star Trek movies.
What do you mean? Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home with the Whales is your favourite film of all time?
Oh, the old ones, not the bloody new ones.
Spark.
Oh my god, the other day someone was talking to me about Star Trek, and they were saying about the new Star Trek films, and I was like, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, but that to me, that is Star Trek. I went, you're telling me that when someone says Star Trek to you, you don't think William Shatner? And they were like, no. And I was like,
Chris Pine's giant forehead.
how can you not think Shatner?
Shatner's bassoon.
Oh. Have you heard about the game Shatner?
No.
Did you not see it? I posted it on Facebook a little while ago. It's this game that me and Marty have started to play it. And basically what you do is you just start a mountain, all of a sudden you go, Shatner! And what you have to do is really overact what you're doing in that moment in time. Just like James T. Kirkwood. It's really fun. It's good. You should try it. Shatner! You failed.
I didn't do what I was doing normally, overacting. I was trying to think of a William Shatner scene, and then I just blew it.
You blew it!
Give you a chance to be a real Shatner, and you blew it!
I think we've had some fan art, haven't we?
Yes.
What have we had?
John Nichols sent in...
We're like scrabbling for our phones now.
We're scrabbling for material for this episode. It's just having to be quiet at the same time. It's
yeah, there's no bumper music.
difficult.
So,
can't read. Nichols.
what did you send to us, Nipples?
Nipples.
Also, one thing I do want to say about this as well.
Don't know, can't find it.
At this point,
Oh, I know where it is.
does Carl Reese know now that John is his son?
No. I wouldn't have... If you told him, you'd fuck things up.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he did a picture of you as a sheep. And
Oh.
it relates to the last episode, although I can't figure what we were talking about to get that picture, but it's
Oh, it's because I said something and you went, why are you speaking in a lamb's voice? And that's why I've been made as a sheep.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey girl.
No, I could have sworn there was something else, but maybe not. Anyway, we
Thank you for
digress.
listening. Sorry for the low energy of the show. We're just going to be really quiet, unfortunately. We're going to get 2 episodes out to you on Thursday to cover Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're probably going to give you Saturday's episode for Friday.
You don't need to whisper.
I know, but I just feel like I'm intimately talking to the listeners. If you'd like to leave us a review on iTunes, please.
He's touching his junk, so it is really intimate.
And if you want to follow along with this show on YouTube, please.
He is actually seriously touching his junk.
And then I think, we'll be back. We're coming very closely to the end of the show. We've got about 3 episodes left. What happens
That's
then?
Ethan's
We're taking
balls.
a hiatus while I kind of get the show switched to Podbean and get it off SoundCloud so we can actually get out to a wider audience. We may as well.
Ethan's just like precariously slapping his balls against the mic stand.
When we've come to the end of Terminator, we're going to do a Terminator twice a month, but we'll probably do a commentary for an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. But then we're going to go invent a completely new show where we're not bound by the paradigm that is Terminator.
Yeah.
So, if you're not listening to this with earbuds, I apologise, because if you play it through a laptop, you won't be able to hear me. Sorry. Oh, God.
Ethan,
Protein
you're just...
drinks, man. Gassy as fuck. Look at my guts.
just accept the fact that you're a gassy mother.
I'm a fat bastard.
You're not
Literally.
fat. You're just gassy.
I'm not a fat.
You're just big bones covered in meat and gravy.
Basically, we'll return tomorrow with episode 55, the last live action one, season 4. And then we're either going to combine all the episodes together in one credits episode or do all 3.
We haven't decided
We'll have
yet.
some film trivia.
Awesome.
Nah, we'll
We'll give you some trivia.
But yeah, thank you all for listening, everyone.
Thank you for listening.
To all the new listeners. And I feel very close to you right now. Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Sorry, low energy. Oh, shut up.